you work with a lot of leaders now, and so uncertainty, chaos is probably becoming more and more commonplace as a leader to try and navigate through. Whether that's geopolitics, whether that's what's happening with AI. There's all of these things where there's a lot of unknowns there. So how can a leader apply that sort of horizon setting? Is it exactly the same? You sort of work through the three pieces of figure out duration, come up with your pathway, figure out the outcome, and use that. How do you advise leaders
Well,
to work with?
what we do is we'll train leaders to do it for themselves. We have to do it for ourselves first, okay? Because as leaders, it's our job to model the behavior that we want to see more of, and then reward the behavior we want to see more of. So as leaders, we have to do it ourselves, and we can model that behavior. And then what we need to do also as leaders is set up our teams that our team is actually doing it in these crisis moments. And so what happens is you can have, and so I'll just introduce you to a concept that I talk about with leaders and teams. Um, the highest performing teams, they actually, if you were to draw what they look like on a chart, it wouldn't be a pyramid, it wouldn't be a flat line, it wouldn't even be an upside down pyramid. It'd be a blob, an amoeba. And when asked where the leader sits in that amoeba, the answer is everywhere the leader needs to be, right, in the moment. Okay. And what we call this is dynamic subordination. Dynamic subordination means that a team understands that challenges and issues and problems can come from any angle at any moment. And when one does, the person who's closest to that problem, the most capable, immediately steps up and takes lead, and everybody follows. And then something else happens. Someone steps up and takes lead, everybody follows. It's a dynamic swap between leader and follower relationship. I also call it alpha hopping. That alpha position just hops. Okay. So I was an officer in the SEAL teams. I did hundreds of combat missions. I was in charge of every single one. It did not mean I was always being supported. In fact, most of the time it was the opposite. I was supporting other people, my snipers, my breachers, my assaulters. Sometimes the environment would shift and to be in support of me, but it's all based on environment. Two things there. First of all, as a leader, we have to understand that our job on a team has nothing to do with our rank or hierarchy. It has everything to do with what we are there to contribute to the team. Okay. And it's our job to set up that dynamically subordinating environment. Dynamic subordination is, in fact, how we DPO through crisis as teams, because whoever's closest to that problem will set the horizon. And then we move to that. And then guess what? Now you have new information and a new horizon may emerge, and someone else has to set a new horizon. So the leaders who set up a dynamically subordinated environment will in fact set up a situation where the person who's closest to the problem will set the horizon. Everybody will support that, and then once complete, we'll pick a new horizon. But in addition to that, this is where the real speed happens. There's also situation awareness that's happening, because in the conduct of a horizon, priorities might shift. Which means, guess what? The horizon is changed and a new horizon is picked. Okay, that's where you get real speed and you get the real elite performance in teams.